Hey, this is Steve from Universal Ford Lincoln. Today I'm out driving a 2018 Ford Escape SE four-wheel drive, and I have to admit, I've just been in the vehicle for a short time. We finally got some in where I've been able to get my hands on one that hasn't been sold. And just in a little bit I've been driving this so far, I have to admit I really like this vehicle. It's not a whole lot different than the previous model year, but there's enough that's catching my attention that it is really cool. Now, for those that don't know anything about the Ford Escape, it came out in the year 2000 as a 2001 model year. And they basically kept the same shape all the way up until 2012. It sort of had that classic boxy shape that a lot of people still come in asking for. And I owned one. I owned a 2009, and it was great. But when they redesigned it in 2013 and they sort of went to that world platform, more of a European design, gave it some better looking lines, better fuel economy, more aerodynamic, and more comfortable inside. I have to admit, it took a little while to get used to it, but now that it's been out for about 5 years, I really like this new design. And I have to admit, it's one of those vehicles that's probably one of the best looking vehicles in our lineup. Now, the Ford Escape, especially this model year, is now a world vehicle. And so basically you can buy the Ford Escape in any market that Ford is in. Now, in North America they call it the Ford Escape. If you were to go outside of North America, they call it the Ford Kuga, and I'll insert a picture here so you can see that it is indeed the same vehicle. The Ford Escape comes in a bunch of different trim levels. It starts as the S trim, which is a front-wheel drive only vehicle, and then it moves into the SE, which is what I'm currently driving. And the next step up, if you were to go up, is the SEL. Now, both the SE and the SEL are available in both front-wheel drive as well as a four-wheel drive. And then if you go to the titanium, it's available only in the four-wheel drive system. Now, Ford calls it a four-wheel drive system. However, you don't have a little lever or button that you can push to change it between two-wheel and four-wheel drive. It's all a computer-controlled system. So technically it is an all-wheel drive system. However, Ford uses the nomenclature of it being a four-wheel drive system. There's different engines that are available as well, depending on the different trims. Sometimes you'll have some options, but starting with the base engine is a 2.5 liter inline 4 that puts out 168 horsepower and 170 foot-pounds of torque. So a great engine. It still has enough horsepower to get things going and get you around town, but the fact that the torque is so high, it is quick off the line, and it's actually hard to believe that you're just in a 2.5 liter inline 4 engine. Now, Ford is known for their EcoBoost engines, and I'm currently driving a 1.5 liter EcoBoost engine that puts out 179 horsepower, 177 foot-pounds of torque. And then if you go to the next engine up, then you have the 2 liter engine, which puts out an amazing 245 horsepower with 275 foot-pounds of torque. And that is an EcoBoost engine as well. So using smaller engines with EcoBoost technology allows you to get that type of horsepower and torque that you used to only be able to see in some of the V6 engines. If you're looking to do any type of trailer towing, the trailer towing capability on the base engine, the 2.5 liter, is 1,500 pounds. If you were to move into the engine I'm driving, the 1.5 liter EcoBoost, it goes up to 2,000 pounds. And then if you take the top of the line engine, the 2 liter EcoBoost engine, then you have a towing capacity of up to 3,500 pounds. Now, you'd have to get the trailer tow package with that to be able to get that type of trailer rating, but that's huge when you think that we've got a mid-size SUV with a 4-cylinder engine being able to pull that type of weight. That's actually pretty amazing when you think about it. Now, there are some different options that are available, different packages that you can get on the vehicle. There's a safe and smart package, which gives you things like adaptive cruise, the blind spot, where you'll actually have a little light in your mirror letting you know if somebody's in your blind spot, so that when you do a lane change, you're not running into someone. There's lane keeping, which you use different cameras, and it'll actually watch the dotted line and the solid line. And if you start veering outside of those, it will actually bring the vehicle back in and give you a warning if you keep veering off that, hey, it's time to pull over, you're probably tired. That also includes the auto high beams as well as the rain sensing wipers on the windshield, not on the rear. But that's a pretty cool feature. It is something I have on my personal vehicle, and a great package to have. Over and above that, you can also get the Canadian Touring package, which will give you a combination of the navigation as well as a big Vista panoramic moonroof, and it covers the whole roof. It allows a lot of light in. It's really nice, but the fact that there's also a shade, it keeps it from heating up in the summer or in the winter. If you want to close the shade, it'll help keep some of the warmth in, which is pretty cool. The package that I have on this is the SE Sync package, and the SE Sync package includes some really cool things. First of all, it gives you the nice 8-inch touch screen, which you typically find on the higher end trims, which is cool. But it also includes things like 911 assist, where if I'm in an accident and an airbag goes off and I have my phone paired to the Sync 3 entertainment system, it's actually going to put a call through to 911 for me. Whether or not I'm conscious and able to, it will put that call through. It also includes Wi-Fi, which allows you to connect up to 10 individual devices to the Wi-Fi hotspot, and that's pretty cool. And then, as I mentioned, you have the 8-inch LCD screen, and depending on what you're doing on, it allows you to hook up things like some of the Apple CarPlay or the Android system for being able to get your media. If you have the navigation, it gives you the pinch to zoom, which is pretty cool as well. Now, this particular vehicle has, as most of the new vehicles coming out from Ford, has the auto stop, auto start system, meaning that when I actually come to a complete stop, as long as I don't have a trailer or anything hooked up, it's actually going to shut the engine off, which will help me save fuel. Now, I've had some people question me on this, like, is that safe? And I can tell you, the moment that you take your foot off the brake, the engine is engaged and ready to go. And I've tried to beat my foot off the brake to the gas and try to beat the system, and I can let you know, if you have a quicker foot than me, maybe, but I've tried extremely hard and I haven't been able to do it yet. So it's pretty cool. If you have your heat on or air conditioning on, or there's other factors that might be in play, maybe the engine isn't at the optimal operating temperature, it's not going to shut off the engine. It's actually going to keep the engine going so that you have heat, have air conditioning, or so that the engine can actually get to the proper temperature. So here we are. I just came to a complete stop, and it just came up on my dash saying that you know, I have an A that just lit up in green, let me know the auto stop is engaged. My RPMs are at 0, and the moment that the light turns green and it's safe to take my foot off the brake, the engine's going to start right up, which is really cool. The driving impressions on this, I have to admit, I am a huge fan of the Escape. I always have been. It's one of those vehicles that if you've owned one, you understand what I'm talking about. In fact, it is pretty well the perfect vehicle. It's great in the fact that you can use it to drive around town. It's a phenomenal highway vehicle in the fact that with these engines that we have, they're great for fuel economy. With the type of fuel economy that we're getting on this particular vehicle has a 9.6 liter per 100 kilometer combined average, 8.3 in the on the highway, and 10.7 liters per 100 kilometers in the city. It is a great vehicle in the fact that, you know, you can drive 600 kilometers in between fuel stops, which for me, that's more than enough. I need to get out and stretch at that point. But the fact that the seats are so comfortable, the vehicle is the right size, it doesn't get blown all over on the highway, it's extremely quiet to drive. It is the great vehicle for being able to do road trips. But if you're going to be in town and you're just driving around the city, it's great in the fact that it's easy to park. You have a huge amount of cargo room, and I have to admit, when my wife and I go away on holidays and we're flying to a location where we have to rent a vehicle, this is the vehicle that we try to get. It's reliable, it's comfortable, good fuel economy, as I've stated, but the most important reason is the cargo capacity. Behind me, with the seats folding flat, we can take all our luggage, put them in there. My wife and I are both avid golfers, so if we're on holidays, it means we have golf clubs with us. We're able to put 2 sets of golf clubs in here in their big heavy travel cases that we towed around, and still have enough room to be able to stop at Costco or the local grocery store type thing, pick up our groceries for the condo. If we happen to have some friends that are with us, or we're meeting some people down there, we can take this vehicle. There's more than enough legroom for anyone in the back, and lots of headroom so that people don't feel like they're actually cramped inside the vehicle. So as you've probably figured out by now through this, I absolutely love this vehicle, and I can see another one being in our driveway fairly soon here. I've got my lease coming up on my truck right away, and as much as I've liked my 2016 F-150 Lariat, I have to admit this does pretty well everything short of maybe some of the serious cargo hauling or heavy trailer towing, which I don't do, as my truck does. For the payment and the fuel savings, it actually makes sense to drive something like this. I spend most of my time in the city, about an hour and a half a day in traffic, and this is the perfect vehicle for that. So do yourself a favor. If you want to get behind the wheel and drive one of these, give us a call at 403-291-2800. Ask for a sales department. We have a huge amount of these in our pre-owned vehicle department. We have 2018s as well as some remaining 2017s currently in stock. And on our pre-owned ones, we do have some that are Ford certified, the certified pre-owned program, which means you actually get a low interest rate with those as well. They've gone through a very in-depth inspection, and Ford has extended the warranty on those. So we have both new and pre-owned depending on what you're looking for. I can guarantee you're going to like this vehicle. Make sure that you follow us on our social media channels. You'll notice that we have stuff on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. We're on all those. But if you're only going to follow one, make sure that you follow us on Facebook, because pretty well everything will end up there at some point, as well as if we have any specials or promotions that we happen to be putting out from any given week, depending on what we have going on. We're going to put those there first so that people can be the first to come and take advantage of those. Thanks for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed this little video of me driving around, just sort of enjoying life. I'm going to stop and get a coffee, and in fact, I'm really enjoying this. I'm probably going to continue just to drive it for a little bit more before I head back to the dealership. Thanks again for watching. Have yourself a great day.